Okay, I'll do this for 10 seconds.
Okay. In this next clip, we're covering gesturing. Gestures are important because they also help to communicate the meaning of your message. Now you can see Alex is exhibiting some inappropriate behaviors that I commonly see in speakers when they gesture. The first one you see is that she has her elbow on the podium and she is really clicking that pen. And people that kind of as a nervous gesture, they'll start to click on something or play with the pen. Now, she moves quickly from that to another behavior that I commonly see amongst speakers that's problematic because it's distracting, and that is restricted gesturing. She's flipping and pulling on the podium. And, I see other versions of this where people run their fingers along the edge of the podium. They'll grab a hold to some part of the podium and kind of rock back. And they've even rocked the podium itself just out of nervousness. Okay, I often will see students grab their cards and play and fiddle with those. They'll tap them against the podium several times, even when straightening isn't needed, just to have something to do with those hands. I will see that you see that now she has a partial lean on the podium, and they'll play and tap their fingers on the podium, and that's distracting to a lot of people. And we do have a lot of listening, a lot of people who have hearing problems, and that extra tapping makes a noise that's particularly distracting to them. Okay? All right. Arms fully extended. I often see that. And when they're extended, again, the speaker's shoulders get hunched, and instead of looking at the audience, a lot of times they start to glance down, and that's distracting and rather odd to look at. I get hands hidden in the podium a lot. So it's almost like they're scared to show them because they don't know what to do with them. Okay? If the items of clothing get played with, I had a student really twist her hair a lot. And again, these are all distracting, and they don't add to the meaning of the message. Instead, when you're gesturing, you do want to fulfill one of the 4 basic purposes for gesturing, which is to gesture to transition and to show transition from one part of your subject matter to the other. Gesture to show, so you see Alex is pointing out her first point, and then she's going to point number 2. That's a form of transitional gesturing. People gesture to show emotion. So you see her, the element of surprise. She's surprised as I went out of order. The people gesture to describe something. And so she's showing us how really big the fish is, how really small the puppy was, okay? And so they gesture to describe something. And then they gesture to show us where something's located. So they'll point to show us that something's pointing, she's pointing down to the floor. So those are the ways that we use gesturing. Sometimes, though, when you don't have anything to do with your hands, it's best to put them in a neutral position. Let them rest flat on the podium. Let them gently grab the side of the podium. You can put them down at your side, as you saw her going to do. You can even have them occasionally in front of you, but just for a moment, or in the back for a moment. It's important not to get your hands locked in any one position to the point where you lose the ability to utilize them to add meaning to your message. So you want your gesturing also to be smooth and fluent. Smooth and fluent. So if you're going from one form of gesturing to another, the movements are smooth and fluent and not jerky. All right. Thank you, Alessandra.